Hello there, everyone. So, another day has gone by, and seemed like the world has become more and more stupider, isn't it? Something happened last night, which kind of rattled me on social media, but it wasn't that primary thing that rattled me actually. So let me tell you about this, right? So the there's a Labour MP who's of Pakistani descent, and he was giving out his message of, he was standing up as candidate in Rochdale. It seems like it, and there was another Labour um, Labour MP of Pakistani background, and after the one standing as candidate was done, the other one came on, and people thought he was translating what he said into Urdu, but actually he was endorsing the candidate in Urdu, and he was basically signaling and saying to his community, his Pakistani community, that he basically is saying that, oh, this guy is our brother, and he is going to be in the parliament, like help him be in the parliament so he can champion our causes, so to speak, like in a summary. That's what he was saying, right? Now, a lot of people were getting it wrong because they thought like he was just translating. So I put out the translation for people like, no, this guy is actually endorsing. He's not just simply translating what he said in Urdu, right? Now, that didn't sit well with me because, not because he was Pakistani or anything like that. It's like, God's sake, like, I am of a Pakistani heritage as well. Like my parents are from Pakistan. Um, the 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 main problem is, like, for me, an MP, when an MP stands up, they stand up for the whole of their locality. They don't stand for one particular community within there, or one particular community in the whole of England. Like, he's not there to represent one community. He's representing the crown. He's representing all the public of his locality, and then by virtue of it, of all of England, right? For me, I would expect that. I wouldn't want to see that from anyone, from what, no matter what background and stuff. If you're an MP in England, then you should be representing the people of England, right? And the people who have voted for you and who haven't voted for you as well in your locality. You have to take care of all their um you know the issues, so to speak. But anyways, that was my main issue with that. And whether I'm right or wrong, I took umbrage with it, right? So there was now this showed me how, the interaction that I had following it with some of the accounts, but one particular account on Twitter. And I'm posting this on my podcast on various platforms, but also on Twitter, so people who are watching on Twitter might know, or might not know, people who at least follow me, right? So um the interaction showed me how dogmatic the left has become. And I already knew anyways for a very long time. That's why I left the left, 4 or 6 years ago. um but it showed me like how racist they are as well, again something that I knew anyways, but how brazen they are in it, how ignorant are they are of their own racism, right? So this person first said to me that, something along the line that I don't know what I'm talking about, or whatever. I told the person, look, they're speaking in a language which is my mother tongue. I speak that language. Okay, I don't speak it that well anymore, because I haven't spoken it for a very long time. So tend to forget that language. You're not that fluent with that language. I was never that fluent with my mother tongue anyways, which was a problem for me growing up. But that's not the point. The point is that I can understand it, right? So, and I can understand the mentality behind it as well, and how they're saying, and why they're saying those things. So it's like, well, I have a cultural context to it. I have a historical contract context with it. So perhaps it's you that do not have, the any context to talk to me about it, right? So this person went on, and maybe they went on my website or wherever, found out that I was born in Kuwait, right? So they were like, aha, see, you're born in Kuwait. So that means Kuwait's national language is not Urdu. That means that you are lying, right? But that shows me, like, they're only looking for like the gotcha moments, right? So they're not looking to engage in conversations anyways. But the fact that this person, like, doesn't even know how anything works outside of England or outside of Britain or outside their sphere of influence, because a lot of people know that there are expat communities within Gulf, like a lot of Pakistani communities, which was one of where I lived, because my parents were both from Pakistan. And my parents are both from Pakistan, and they are Muhajirs as well, like Urdu speaking people. Their regional language is Urdu, as opposed to many other Pakistani people who have different languages as their regional languages, and they're completely different. Like Punjabis would have Punjabi, Sindhis would have Sindhi, or Balochis would have Balochi, Saraiki people would have Saraiki, Pashtuns will have Pashto. There's another people who would have Hindko. Like, there's a lot of different languages, different regional languages and stuff. But people who are of Muhajir background, they call Muhajir, it means migrant. Basically, they were the people who migrated from India to Pakistan at the time of independence in 1947, right? So that's the background of my parents. So our native tongue is Urdu, right? So obviously they're going to talk to me in that language. They taught me that language. um, you know um, Kuwaiti people, uh, most Arab people are not known to integrate with foreign communities. They only use them for whatever employment and stuff. How they, the same thing that happened with my dad as well. Like, he was integrated with them, but they don't spend that much time. Plus there's like, pockets of communities who are living parallel to each other, which has sort of something that has become in England as well. So if you think about it, I have that cultural background as well, of living in a country but living in a parallel society somewhat, right? Somewhat parallel society. So even the school that I went to was, International School of Pakistan, you know so within Kuwait, right? So yeah, we had foreign teachers, British teachers, and that teachers, but you have all the Pakistani students over there. So again, another, you know relevance of the language, like, but anyways. So this person not only did not believe that, but then went on to say that all my views to them seem like something that a white person would say. Now, again, they really don't understand their own racism in this way, right? So what they're saying is, because you're an immigrant into my country, or that you are of, even if you're born away, but because you're of a certain ethnicity, certain color of your skin, that you should have a particular kind of thought, and a particular kind of, expressing your thought, or whatever it might be, that you should take issues with the issues that I'm, like, passionate about. I mean, I'm sorry, I didn't get the manual for being an ethnic minority in England. Was there a manual being put out by the socialist left? This person's tag was a real socialist, right? So it told me what I need to know, anyways. Right. So is there guidelines that you provide when people come into England? Like, by the way, since you're an ethnic minority, this is all you can say. You can never be a socially conservative person, or you can never just talk about the truth as it is, regardless of what side political side is on. I don't care about political side, right or left. I consider myself to be politically British, as I've said before. So why would it matter if it's a matter like, but they are so tribal that they have to fight these things. The truth doesn't matter to them. What matters to them is, what does a tribe want? And if the other opposing side is speaking the truth, they have to oppose it regardless if it's true or not. That is a dangerous place for a society to be in. That is a problem in itself, I think. But anyways, this is what they insisted, kept on insisting. A rail socialist, I think so, her name was Angela or something. you know it just it's not a disappointing encounter as such. Like, this is a lot of other people like that, and they go on the same sort of pattern of thought and speech. But it just goes to show how ignorant people have become and how out of context they are. See, this was one of the main reasons why I separated myself from the left when I was briefly in my life aligned with one side of the politics. I always used to be more of a centrist, anyways, but there was a short period of my life when I was in England that I did that, looking for a tribe, maybe, like, because you lose a whole country, a whole connection to it, then you're looking for something. So, but they showed me why I left the left. They just no intelligent conversations to have on that side. It's just dogmatic, the same churned out bullshit that you get from there. But anyways, it was funny. I think so that person has blocked me or whatever, doesn't care. Doesn't matter. Who cares, right? But it was just funny, and it's not really about that person as well. I mean, I hope that person, whoever that person was, understand where they went wrong and try to change something in their life so that they become a bit more informed, or maybe are just a bit more tolerant of other people's views. Everyone has different views. Like, you can't like tell people what to think and what not to think. So in that way, I'm not even telling that person what to think and what not to think, but just to, because they went on to say that they went on to say that they think, they are very sure that I am a white guy, a white British guy pretending to be Asian. Look at me, right? Yeah, with this funny accent, I can really pull it off, right? But yeah, yeah, that's all I wanted to say today. That, you know we are becoming very dogmatic, and it's not good. It's not good, because anything that divides us defeats us, right? We have to maintain our perspective. We have to understand how to engage with people. We have to be able to spot our enemies, and our enemies comes in all colors and sizes. It's not like, you know they are enemies within. You have to be able to spot people who don't mean your country well, who don't mean you well, and advocate to take appropriate actions against them, because it's not in your self interest, it's not in the self interest of your fellow citizens to have such people in your community, you know, because they pose a danger. Funny to note is that you would get this from, you know it kind of shows how dogmatic and religious the left has become. The far left has become socialist and Marxist and so on and on. Is that they can't even think outside their box. It's something like I would get from religious people, like back in the time, like not all religions, but specifically Muslim people, right? So they would say, like, oh, they couldn't even understand that. How can you not believe in a god? You must not be a real person. This is exactly the kind of patterns that we are seeing in this dogmatic left as well. Is that they cannot even think outside their sphere. They cannot think something is real if it doesn't agree with their worldview. That is dangerous. So I hope you have a good day whenever you listen to it. And yeah, that's it. Until next time, take care, be good, and thank you so much for listening.